facing a problem so tricky that every solution seems wrong? What if I told you that the key to solving even the toughest problems lies not in luck, but in mastering just a few powerful skills? Skills that can change the way you think, create, and decide forever. Today, we're going to unlock the secrets of critical thinking, creativity, logic, and problem solving. These aren't just buzzwords you hear everywhere. They are the tools used by the greatest minds in history to solve mysteries, invent groundbreaking ideas, and make decisions that change the world. Have you ever wondered how some people always seem to find the right answer, no matter how complicated the situation? It's not magic, and it's not something you're born with. It's a way of thinking, a mindset you can develop. In this video, you will learn how to sharpen your mind to cut through confusion and find clarity. You'll discover how creativity isn't just for artists or dreamers, but a powerful force that turns problems into opportunities. We'll break down how logic forms the backbone of every sound decision, guiding you to see what others miss, and most importantly, you'll get proven strategies to solve problems confidently, even when the pressure is on. But here's the twist. Many people think they know how to think critically or be creative, yet they miss key techniques that make all the difference. We'll dive into lesser-known facts about these skills, facts that aren't taught in schools or mentioned in typical self-help books. For example, did you know that critical thinking actually rewires your brain, helping you break free from biases that cloud your judgment? Or that true creativity often starts with constraints, not freedom? These surprising insights will keep you hooked because they challenge everything you thought you knew. By the end of this video, you'll have a deep understanding of how to develop these 4 vital skills together, making smarter choices in every area of your life. Whether it's making a tough decision at work, solving personal challenges, or simply wanting to think clearer and faster, this guide has you covered. You'll walk away with practical tips you can use immediately, not just theory. Welcome to Narrative Society, your home for ideas that empower and transform. If you want to become a master of your mind and unlock a new level of thinking, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. This journey begins now, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Stay with us till the end, because the way you think can change your life forever. Before we talk about the power of creativity, it's important to understand the foundation that holds it all together: critical thinking. Critical thinking is more than just a skill. It's a mindset, a way of approaching information that allows you to see clearly through confusion, bias, and noise. At its core, critical thinking is the ability to analyze information objectively and make reasoned judgments. This means not just accepting facts as they come, but questioning, probing, and evaluating every piece of information before forming an opinion. When you think critically, you are like a detective in your own mind. You look for evidence, you weigh different sides of an argument, and you ask yourself, is this really true? Is there another way to see this? Critical thinking involves stepping back from your emotions and personal beliefs to look at the facts with fresh eyes. It's about identifying assumptions and recognizing when information is incomplete or misleading. This skill is crucial because the world around us is full of opinions, half-truths, and sometimes outright falsehoods. One of the most important roles of critical thinking is in evaluating arguments. We are surrounded by people making claims every day, from news headlines to social media posts, from advertisements to conversations with friends. Critical thinking helps you sift through these claims and decide which ones hold up under scrutiny. It trains your mind to look for logic, evidence, and consistency. When an argument is weak or based on faulty reasoning, Critical thinking helps you spot it quickly, but critical thinking goes deeper than just evaluating arguments. It also means identifying biases, both in others and in yourself. Everyone has biases, whether they realize it or not. These biases can cloud judgment and lead to decisions based on feelings rather than facts. A critical thinker learns to recognize these hidden influences and works to overcome them. This self-awareness is one of the most powerful aspects of critical thinking. It keeps you honest with yourself and ensures that your decisions are fair and well-informed. Before we dive into creativity, keep in mind that critical thinking isn't about being negative or overly skeptical. It's about being curious, open-minded, and willing to change your views when presented with new evidence. It's a mental discipline that sharpens your ability to understand complex issues and solve problems effectively. Now, moving on to the power of creativity. This is where the magic happens. Creativity is often misunderstood as simply making art or coming up with wild ideas. But it's so much more than that. Creativity is the ability to generate new and innovative ideas. It's about thinking differently and seeing possibilities where others see obstacles. Creativity breathes life into critical thinking by allowing you to explore fresh solutions rather than sticking to the usual paths. Creativity and critical thinking are partners in problem solving. Critical thinking analyzes and evaluates, while creativity imagines and invents. Without creativity, critical thinking can become stuck in rigid patterns, unable to break free from conventional thinking. And without critical thinking, creativity can turn into unfocused daydreaming without any practical outcome. One of the fascinating things about creativity is that it often flourishes within limits. Constraints, whether they are time, resources, or rules, can actually push you to think more creatively. When faced with boundaries, your mind searches harder for unique solutions. This tension between freedom and limitation is what drives innovation. Creativity also thrives on curiosity. Asking what-if questions and exploring new experiences fuels the creative process. It encourages you to challenge assumptions and see problems from multiple perspectives. This mindset can lead to unexpected insights and breakthroughs. In real life, creativity often shows up when you combine ideas from different fields or experiences. Many great inventions and discoveries happen because someone connected dots that others never thought to connect. This kind of cross-pollination happens when your mind is open and flexible. Importantly, creativity doesn't mean you have to be a genius or an artist. It's a skill that anyone can develop with practice. Simple activities like brainstorming, mind mapping, or even taking a different route home can boost your creative thinking. The key is to stay curious and willing to experiment. When you combine creativity with critical thinking, you build a powerful toolkit for tackling any challenge. Critical thinking keeps your ideas grounded in reality, ensuring they are logical and sound. Creativity, on the other hand, pushes you beyond the obvious, helping you find innovative and effective solutions. So, as you continue to develop these skills, remember that creativity is not a separate talent reserved for a few. It's a vital part of how we all think and solve problems every day. Together with critical thinking, creativity opens doors to new possibilities and empowers you to navigate life's complexities with confidence. Logic is the framework that holds our thinking together. At its simplest, logic is the structured process of reasoning. It's the tool that helps us connect ideas clearly and make sure our conclusions follow from the facts and evidence. Without logic, our thoughts would be scattered and chaotic, making it nearly impossible to solve problems or make decisions that hold up under scrutiny. When you use logic, You are essentially creating a chain of reasoning where each link supports the next. This chain needs to be strong and unbroken for your argument or conclusion to be valid. Logic teaches us how to organize our thoughts step by step, so others can understand and follow our reasoning. It also helps us avoid jumping to conclusions or making assumptions without solid evidence. Logical thinking is about more than just solving puzzles or doing math. It's about how we process information in everyday life. Whether you're debating a point, making a decision, or trying to understand a complex situation, logic gives you a reliable path to follow. It helps you break down complex problems into smaller, manageable parts, analyze each piece, and then put everything back together in a way that makes sense. One of the most important uses of logic is constructing sound arguments. A sound argument is one where the reasoning is valid and the premises are true. Logic guides you in building these arguments by showing how conclusions must follow from premises if the premises themselves are true. This means that if your starting points are correct, your final conclusion will be reliable. Without logic, arguments can become confusing or misleading, making it hard to tell what's true and what isn't. Logic also helps us identify fallacies, common errors in reasoning that weaken arguments. Fallacies can sneak into our thinking without us even realizing it. They often appear as tricks or distractions that make an argument seem convincing when it actually isn't. By learning to spot these fallacies, you protect yourself from being misled and sharpen your ability to argue effectively. Some fallacies are easy to recognize, like attacking the person instead of the argument. This is called an ad hominem fallacy. Others are more subtle, such as assuming something is true just because it hasn't been proven false, known as an appeal to ignorance. Logical thinking teaches you how to spot these errors by focusing on the structure of the argument rather than on emotions or biases. Another key aspect of logic is understanding different types of reasoning, like deductive and inductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning moves from general principles to specific conclusions. For example, if all humans are mortal and Socrates is a human, then logically Socrates is mortal. This type of reasoning, when done correctly, guarantees the truth of the conclusion, if the premises are true. Inductive reasoning, on the other hand, works the other way around. It moves from specific observations to broader generalizations. For example, if you see the sun rise every morning, you might conclude that it will rise again tomorrow. Inductive reasoning is less certain than deductive reasoning, but is still a vital part of how we learn and understand the world. Logic also helps in decision-making by clarifying the relationship between causes and effects. When you think logically, you look for evidence that clearly connects an action with its result. This way, you avoid jumping to conclusions based on coincidence or unrelated events. Using logic in your thinking improves your ability to communicate clearly and persuasively. When your reasoning is structured and easy to follow, others are more likely to trust your ideas and take them seriously. This is especially important in debates, negotiations, and any situation where you need to convince others. Logical thinking trains your mind to be disciplined. It encourages you to check your assumptions and avoid letting emotions cloud your judgment. While emotions are a natural part of decision-making, logic provides a balance by making sure your choices are based on facts and sound reasoning. Logic also plays a crucial role in problem solving. When faced with a difficult problem, logical thinking helps you identify what information is relevant, what the problem really is, and how different solutions might lead to different outcomes. It prevents you from being overwhelmed by details or misled by irrelevant data. In daily life, logical thinking can protect you from scams, misinformation, and faulty advice. When you approach claims with logic, you demand proof and clear reasoning, before accepting something as true. This skepticism isn't about being negative, it's about being smart and cautious with your beliefs. Learning logic isn't just about memorizing rules, it's about developing habits of clear, careful thinking. It's about training your brain to see connections, spot mistakes, and build strong arguments that stand the test of scrutiny. With practice, logical thinking becomes second nature, guiding you through complexity with confidence and clarity. Logic also encourages you to think ahead, anticipating the consequences of your ideas or actions. This foresight helps you avoid mistakes and choose options that lead to better results. It's like having a mental blueprint that shows you the safest and most effective path forward. Even creativity benefits from logic. While creativity opens the door to new ideas, logic ensures those ideas make sense and can be applied in real life. Together they form a powerful combination that leads to smart innovation and effective problem solving. In essence, logic is the language of clear thought. It helps you make sense of the world and communicate your understanding to others. It equips you with the tools to build convincing arguments, identify faulty reasoning, and solve problems systematically. By mastering logic, you strengthen your mind's ability to reason clearly and fairly. This skill becomes a foundation upon which you can build other important thinking skills like critical thinking, creativity, and problem solving. Logic gives you the confidence to face complex questions and find answers that hold up under examination. When you think logically, you step into the role of a careful thinker, someone who doesn't rush to conclusions, but takes the time to examine evidence and reasons carefully. This approach helps you avoid common pitfalls and ensures your decisions are well grounded. Logical thinking also fosters intellectual humility. It reminds you that some conclusions depend on your starting points and that being open to new evidence is essential for growth. This openness keeps your mind flexible and ready to adapt when better information comes along. Whether you're studying a difficult subject, making a business decision, or trying to solve a personal dilemma, logic provides a reliable method to navigate uncertainty. It helps you distinguish between what makes sense and what doesn't, so you can act with clarity and purpose. Ultimately, logic trains your mind to be precise, consistent, and fair. It's a skill that builds trust in your own thinking and helps others trust you too. This trust is the foundation of meaningful conversations, successful collaborations, and strong leadership. Logic is not just a tool for philosophers or scientists, it's a practical skill that everyone can develop. With patience and practice, you can sharpen your logical thinking and use it every day to make better choices, solve problems more effectively, and communicate with confidence. Problem solving is a skill everyone needs, yet it's often misunderstood as something complicated or reserved for experts. At its core, problem solving is simply the process of finding solutions to complex or challenging issues. It's what happens when something isn't working the way you want it to, and you need to figure out how to fix it. Whether it's a work project, a personal challenge, or a daily inconvenience, problem solving is the way your mind works to make things better. The first step in problem solving is identifying the problem clearly. This might sound obvious, but many people rush into solutions without truly understanding what the problem really is. Taking time to define the problem precisely is crucial because it shapes everything that follows. You need to ask yourself, what exactly is wrong? Why is this a problem? Who or what is affected? Getting a clear picture makes it easier to find the right solution. Once you have a clear problem, the next step is generating solutions. This stage is where creativity shines. You want to come up with as many ideas as possible, even those that might seem unusual or risky. The goal is to open your mind and explore different ways to solve the problem. Don't judge or dismiss ideas too quickly. Sometimes the best solutions come from unexpected places. Brainstorming, mind mapping, or simply listing options are great ways to encourage creative thinking. After you have a list of possible solutions, the next step is evaluating your options. This is where critical thinking and logic come into play. You analyze each idea carefully, considering its strengths and weaknesses. Ask questions like, will this solution solve the problem effectively? What are the potential risks? How much time or resources will it require? By weighing the pros and cons, you can narrow down your options to the most practical and promising ones. Finally, once you've chosen the best solution, it's time to implement it. This means putting your plan into action and monitoring the results. Implementation often requires planning, organization, and sometimes teamwork. You might face obstacles along the way, so staying flexible and ready to adjust your approach is important. After implementing, it's also helpful to review the outcome to see if the problem is truly solved or if further action is needed. Problem solving isn't a straight line. Sometimes you need to go back to earlier steps, rethink your approach, or try new ideas. This flexibility is a sign of strong problem-solving skills. It shows that you're willing to learn, adapt, and keep pushing forward until you find a solution that works. Now imagine these problem-solving steps combined with the power of critical thinking, creativity, and logic. Each of these skills adds a unique strength to the process, making your problem-solving more effective and well-rounded. Critical thinking ensures that you question assumptions and evaluate information carefully. Creativity pushes you to think outside the box and explore new possibilities. Logic helps you organize your thoughts and reason through your options clearly. Together, these skills form a powerful team that can tackle almost any challenge. For example, picture a business facing a sudden drop in sales. Identifying the problem means understanding exactly what caused the decline. Is it customer dissatisfaction, increased competition, or something else? Using creativity, the team might brainstorm innovative marketing ideas or new product features. Critical thinking helps evaluate which ideas are realistic and backed by data. Logic helps build a clear plan to test and implement the chosen strategies. This integrated approach leads to smarter decisions that are both imaginative and grounded in reality. In everyday life, this integration is just as valuable. Say you want to improve your health, but aren't sure how. Critical thinking helps you research facts about diet and exercise, separating myths from truth. Creativity allows you to design a workout routine that fits your preferences and schedule. Logic guides you in setting achievable goals and tracking your progress. Problem solving brings it all together by helping you overcome obstacles like lack of motivation or time constraints. When these four skills work in harmony, they create a mental toolbox that adapts to any situation. They help you see problems clearly, generate smart solutions, and act confidently. This combination improves your ability to make decisions that are thoughtful, innovative, and effective. Mastering these skills also builds resilience. When challenges arise, you don't panic or give up. Instead, you approach the problem calmly, analyze it carefully, think creatively, and use logic to guide your actions. This mindset turns problems into opportunities for growth and learning. Integrating critical thinking, creativity, logic, and problem-solving changes the way you face the world. You become a thinker who is curious, flexible, and confident. You're ready to handle complexity without feeling overwhelmed, making decisions that lead to success in work, relationships, and personal goals. These skills don't develop overnight. They grow with practice, reflection, and experience. Each problem you solve using this integrated approach strengthens your abilities and prepares you for the next challenge. Ultimately, combining these four skills leads to smarter decisions and better outcomes. It empowers you to move beyond simple reactions and take control of your thinking. This mental strength is a key to navigating life's uncertainties and achieving your goals with clarity and purpose. Critical thinking can be sharpened and strengthened with practice, just like any other skill. One of the most powerful ways to do this is by using the Socratic method. This technique involves asking a series of thoughtful questions that challenge assumptions and dig deeper into ideas. Instead of accepting things at face value, the Socratic method encourages you to question why something is believed to be true, how it connects to other ideas, and what evidence supports it. This process helps uncover hidden biases and strengthens your ability to reason clearly. Questioning assumptions is another essential technique for enhancing critical thinking. Often we accept ideas simply because they're familiar or have been repeated many times, but by actively asking, "What if this isn't true?" or "Why do I believe this?" you begin to see things from a fresh perspective. This habit breaks down automatic thinking and opens the door to more accurate, objective analysis. It pushes you to examine your beliefs critically and consider alternative viewpoints. Analyzing perspectives is also key. Every issue can be seen from multiple angles, and understanding these different viewpoints adds depth to your thinking. When you practice looking at a problem or argument through the eyes of others, you become more open-minded and less prone to jumping to conclusions. This skill improves empathy and also reveals flaws or strengths in your own reasoning that you might have missed. Reflective journaling is a simple yet effective way to deepen critical thinking. Writing down your thoughts about decisions, problems, or new information forces you to organize your ideas and clarify your thinking. When you reflect on what you've learned, question your reasoning, and track how your thoughts evolve over time, you develop greater self-awareness and mental discipline. Journaling can also highlight patterns in your thinking that may need improvement. Engaging in discussions with others is another way to boost critical thinking. Conversations expose you to different viewpoints and challenge you to defend or reconsider your own ideas. A healthy discussion isn't about winning an argument, but about exploring ideas together. Listening carefully and responding thoughtfully sharpens your reasoning skills and expands your understanding. It's through dialogue that many people find new insights and strengthen their ability to think critically. Boosting creativity is just as important as sharpening critical thinking. Creativity fuels innovation and helps you approach problems in fresh, unexpected ways. One of the most popular ways to enhance creativity is brainstorming. This involves generating many ideas without judging them, no matter how wild or impractical they may seem. The goal is to unleash your imagination freely, allowing connections to form that wouldn't appear through linear thinking. Brainstorming can be done alone or with a group, and it often leads to breakthroughs that structured thinking might miss. Mind mapping is another useful creative tool. It's a visual way of organizing ideas by starting with a central concept and branching out into related thoughts. This technique helps you see the big picture and how different ideas connect. It's especially helpful when dealing with complex problems or projects, as it encourages free association and helps uncover new angles. Mind maps stimulate both the logical and imaginative sides of the brain, making them powerful for creative thinking. Exploring new experiences is a natural way to boost creativity. When you step outside your usual routines, try new activities, or expose yourself to unfamiliar cultures and ideas, you open your mind to fresh inspiration. This can be as simple as reading a book outside your favorite genre, visiting a new place, or learning a new skill. Novelty challenges your brain and encourages it to form new neural connections, which fuels creative thinking. Maintaining a curious and open mindset is at the heart of creativity. Curiosity drives you to ask questions like, what if, and why not? It pushes you to seek out new knowledge and look at the world with wonder. An open mindset means being willing to consider ideas that challenge your beliefs or comfort zones. It's about embracing uncertainty and seeing failures as opportunities to learn rather than reasons to stop trying. This attitude creates fertile ground for creativity to flourish. Together, these techniques, questioning, reflecting, discussing, brainstorming, mind mapping, exploring, and staying curious, build a mental environment where critical thinking and creativity grow hand in hand. The more you practice them, the more naturally you will apply these skills in everyday life, leading to smarter decisions and more innovative solutions. Logical reasoning is a skill that can be built and refined through deliberate practice. One effective way to strengthen this skill is by engaging in puzzles and games that challenge your mind. Sudoku, logic grids, and riddles are great examples. These puzzles require you to follow a chain of reasoning, spot patterns, and make deductions based on limited information. Regularly solving such puzzles trains your brain to think clearly and systematically, sharpening your ability to reason step by step. Studying logical arguments is another powerful exercise. When you analyze arguments presented in books, articles, or debates, you learn how conclusions are drawn from premises. This helps you recognize strong reasoning as well as weak or faulty logic. Pay attention to how premises support conclusions and whether the reasoning is valid or flawed. By practicing this analysis, you become better at constructing your own logical arguments and spotting mistakes in others. Practicing deductive reasoning is essential for clear thinking. Deductive reasoning means starting with a general rule and applying it to a specific case to reach a conclusion. For example, if all humans are mortal and you are human, then you are mortal. Exercises that involve syllogisms or conditional reasoning help you master this skill. This practice builds confidence in drawing conclusions that follow necessarily from given information, reducing guesswork or assumptions. Understanding logical structures deepens your ability to think clearly and communicate effectively. Logical structures refer to the way ideas are organized and connected in an argument. Recognizing patterns such as cause and effect, comparisons, or classifications helps you make sense of complex information. This clarity is essential in both daily decisions and professional reasoning. Knowing common logical fallacies is equally important. Fallacies are errors in reasoning that weaken arguments. They often appear as distractions, false causes, or irrelevant appeals. Examples include the straw man fallacy, where someone misrepresents an argument to attack it more easily, or the false dilemma, where only two choices are presented when more exist. By learning to spot these fallacies, you protect yourself from being misled and improve your ability to argue effectively and honestly. Effective problem solving relies on clear strategies that guide you through complexity. The 5 whys technique is a simple yet powerful method. When faced with a problem, you ask why 5 times, each answer leading to the next question. This process helps dig beneath surface issues to reveal the root cause. By addressing the root cause rather than symptoms, your solutions become more effective and lasting. Root cause analysis is a more detailed approach that often accompanies the 5 whys. It involves gathering data, mapping out cause and effect relationships, and identifying underlying problems. This method ensures that you don't just treat the symptoms, but understand the system or process that creates the problem. It's widely used in business, engineering, and healthcare to prevent recurring issues. Decision matrices are another valuable tool. When you have several options to choose from, a decision matrix helps you evaluate them based on criteria like cost, time, effectiveness, and risk. You assign scores to each option according to these factors and calculate which one ranks highest overall. This systematic approach removes guesswork and emotional bias from decision making, helping you pick the best course of action objectively. Breaking down problems into manageable parts is a crucial problem-solving strategy. Large problems can seem overwhelming, but when divided into smaller, more specific tasks, they become easier to tackle. This approach helps you focus on one piece at a time and track your progress. It also allows you to identify which parts of the problem are most critical or challenging, so you can prioritize your efforts. Considering multiple solutions is vital in avoiding narrow thinking. When you brainstorm different ways to solve a problem, you increase your chances of finding a creative or more effective approach. Even if one solution seems obvious, exploring alternatives may reveal options that save time, resources, or effort. This openness to multiple possibilities is a hallmark of skilled problem solvers. Together, these exercises and strategies build a robust foundation for logical reasoning and problem solving. They guide your thinking from confusion to clarity, from complexity to simplicity, and from problems to solutions. Regularly practicing puzzles, analyzing arguments, applying deductive reasoning, and understanding fallacies sharpens your mind. Meanwhile, tools like the 5 whys, root cause analysis, decision matrices, and breaking problems down help you handle challenges efficiently and confidently. With these skills, you're better equipped to navigate both everyday issues and more complex situations. You approach problems with a calm, structured mindset, ready to uncover causes, weigh options, and take action. Logical reasoning and effective problem solving work hand in hand to turn challenges into opportunities for growth and success. Imagine you're at work facing a tough decision. A project deadline is approaching, but the team is behind schedule. You need to figure out how to meet the deadline without sacrificing quality. This is where critical thinking, creativity, logic, and problem solving come into play. Instead of reacting with stress, you start by clearly identifying the problem. What exactly is causing the delay? You gather facts and listen carefully to your team's input, analyzing the situation objectively. This is critical thinking in action, separating emotions from facts to understand the real issue. Next, creativity helps you generate new ideas. Maybe reassigning tasks, using different tools, or shifting priorities could speed things up. You don't settle for the obvious. Instead, you brainstorm freely, exploring options no one else thought of. Creativity opens the door to fresh solutions and new possibilities, making it easier to break free from old patterns that don't work. Logic steps in to test these ideas. You evaluate each one based on facts and consequences. Which solutions are practical? Which have risks? You use logical reasoning to weigh pros and cons, identifying any flaws or weak points. This structured thinking ensures your decisions are well-founded, not just hopeful guesses. You avoid common pitfalls and fallacies that could lead to mistakes. Problem-solving skills guide you through the final steps. You choose the best option, create a plan, and put it into action. You also prepare to monitor progress and adjust if needed. This organized approach turns complexity into manageable tasks, increasing the chance of success. These same skills apply beyond the workplace. In personal relationships, clear thinking helps you communicate better and resolve conflicts. When emotions run high, critical thinking allows you to step back and see the situation more clearly. You question assumptions, listen deeply, and avoid jumping to conclusions. Creativity offers new ways to connect or compromise, keeping the relationship healthy and growing. Logic helps you understand patterns in behavior or recurring problems. Maybe misunderstandings happen because of different communication styles or unmet expectations. Recognizing these logical connections helps you address root causes instead of blaming or reacting impulsively. Problem-solving skills empower you to find practical solutions in relationships, like scheduling quality time, setting boundaries, or seeking counseling. You approach issues calmly and confidently, knowing there is a process to follow. Everyday challenges also benefit from mastering these skills. From managing finances to planning your day, making smart decisions depends on clear thinking and effective problem solving. When unexpected problems arise, like a broken appliance or a missed appointment, you stay calm and analyze the situation. You think creatively about fixes or alternatives. You use logic to choose the best course of action, then implement it step by step. People who master these skills make better decisions because they don't rely on guesswork or emotional reactions. They gather information, consider possibilities, test ideas logically, and solve problems systematically. This process builds confidence, reducing stress and uncertainty. Effective decision-making also leads to better results. Whether at work, home, or in daily life, decisions based on critical thinking, creativity, logic, and problem-solving tend to be more successful. Mistakes are fewer because the choices are well thought out. Solutions last longer because root causes are addressed. Outcomes improve because options are evaluated carefully. Confidence grows naturally as you see these skills in action. You trust your judgment more and feel prepared to face challenges. You become a problem solver, not a problem dweller. This mindset changes how you approach life, turning obstacles into opportunities and setbacks into lessons. In many ways, mastering these skills is like building a mental toolkit. When you face any situation, you pull out the right tools. Critical thinking to analyze, creativity to innovate, logic to reason, and problem solving to act. This toolkit helps you navigate complexity with ease, making life smoother and more fulfilling. Whether deciding on a career move, handling a family disagreement, or managing daily tasks, these skills make you more effective and confident. They give you clarity when things feel confusing, courage when problems feel overwhelming, and wisdom when choices feel uncertain. Ultimately, these skills don't just improve decision-making, they improve your quality of life. They empower you to handle challenges calmly and confidently, create solutions that work, and make choices that align with your goals and values. This transformation shows the real power of mastering critical thinking, creativity, logic, and problem solving in everyday life.